Hey guys, how's it going? Kripparrian here. So today we're going to bring back the How Good Is series for the Murloc Knight. It's been a series that, it's been pretty exciting, and I haven't really done a video in that format for a little bit here because, well, at the end of expansions, things get a little bit stale, and well, the last expansion, there really wasn't too much in terms of interesting cards. In fact, most of them were actually pretty disappointing. With TGT coming out, there are a lot of very interesting cards. You guys can expect a few more of these coming up as the weeks roll out. Alright, so Murloc Knight, the Murloc of the Grand Tournament, the knight that the Murlocs brought to the Grand Tournament. It is a pretty spectacular card. A lot of people thought it might be pretty good, and with tribes, it's always important just to add more to the tribes. So, as expansions roll out, as cards are being created, you have an expansion with a Murloc, one without, one with a Murloc, if this process rolls out and time passes, you have enough, guys in each of these tribes that it makes them really good. Uh, Generally, just the biggest problem with all the tribes except for Mech was that there were just not enough of them to actually fully take advantage of the synergy. So even if Murloc Knight didn't end up being too good of a card, it would still be good for that purpose, that over time these tribal decks would actually develop to eventually be pretty threatening. Murloc Knight just so happens to be pretty threatening by himself. It doesn't really matter that he has the Murloc tag. Murloc Paladin certainly hasn't picked up because of it, but, a few other things have certainly changed as a result of this card being in the game. So how good is Murloc Knight? Well, it turns out he's pretty good. Pretty damn good, in fact. On the first few days of the Grand Tournament, people were actually rolling in Murloc Knight. Some cases, 2 copies of Murloc Knight in like a mid-range type of Paladin deck, and that worked pretty well. But after a few days of experimentation, even though this card had a pretty good fit in that deck, just because the Paladin deck is extremely aggressive for board control in turns 1, 2, and 3, so it makes it that you can actually play Murloc Knight on 4, and he's a colossal game-ending threat. We'll talk about that in a moment, why that is the case. But it kind of worked. It's just that after a few days, the metagaming constructed shifted again to a very aggressive one. The very aggressive decks kind of took over again. People that were trying, kind of fun stuff and whatever were basically being punished by hunterish decks and this new, like, super aggressive secret paladin deck, which is basically everywhere now. So it's not that Murloc Knight is like not really like working. He does work. It's just, if you're going to play an aggressive paladin, it seems like there are better options than to stick him in that type of deck right now. He's a really good card by himself, but Constructed is generally a field where you want cards that work together to achieve a purpose, and specifically in the case of the Secret Paladin, you really, really need a ton of synergy for that deck to work, which Murloc Knight just doesn't provide. So is he constructed good? The answer is actually yes, but it's just he's competing with a bit too much right now for Paladins. We might see him cycle in. Perhaps if people start playing slower decks, perhaps there's a more dominant deck that actually crushes the secret garbage that we're seeing from the aggressive Paladins. I think we might see the Murloc Knight come back and maybe have a showing. Now, in regards to Arena, this little guy has really changed a lot. I try to keep track of websites like Hearthstone and other similar websites which like to rank cards, and it gives me some extra perspective. Now, when it comes to the Grand Tournament, obviously, these websites, along like me, I'm going to be wrong a lot of the time, just like these websites are wrong a lot of the time. But the funny thing is, just to what magnitude this was. Some people thought Murloc Knight, I thought Murloc Knight was just a pretty good card. If I would rank it against like Hearthstone's system, I'd put it maybe 65 points, something like that. I think they actually had it maybe even lower than that, but it was basically within that range at the start. And then after like a day of Arena, I think the author of the website made Murloc Knight like 10 or 15 points higher as an emergency measure, okay? It was really, really obvious that after immediately playing with the card that it was significantly stronger than we had anticipated. And we'll go over to why, but first let's just see where it stands right now. So Paladin is considered one of the best classes in Arena right now, if not the best class in Arena. I actually consider it the best class in Arena, and these are the best commons available for Paladin. They don't have any beyond great commons, but as you can tell, they have a crap load of really, really strong, very powerful common cards. They have the True Silver, the Kraken is a pretty big addition. But look at that list, man. You got Argent Protector, you got Shield of Minibot, you got Consecrate, and then you got Murloc Knight. It actually beats out all the premium level buffs that are offered to Paladins, which are just like staple cards. So Murloc Knight is now, you know, among the other extremely powerful 4-drops available to Paladin. It's on that level. And I don't think anyone really expected the card to be that strong. It certainly is a good card, but not that. That's like crazy strong. Traditionally in Arena, the reason Paladin was so strong is on turn 4, if you are playing against the Paladin, you would go from winning the game to losing the game literally every single time. And Murloc Knight kind of keeps that going. It steps it up, and it's actually a bit more flexible. So let's talk about the card itself. Generally, Inspire cards are very strong. Inspire cards can act as late game. So, you know, if you compare Murloc Knight to like a 6-drop, a 7-drop, or an 8-drop, if you play Murloc Knight, you know, on a later turn where you play like a dude, you actually can get 6 mana worth of stuff. And if you're in a controlling situation, you can actually get much, much more than 6 mana worth of stuff, because that's how the Inspire mechanic works. So cards with Inspire can act as late game creatures. They're just really tested whether they're good enough to play on curve. And Murloc Knight, 4 mana for a 3/4 is pretty weak stats. This is basically 3 mana worth of stats. The Murloc tag is actually pretty expensive, but it's not particularly relevant because you don't actually play this guy because he is a Murloc right now. So that doesn't actually factor into this at all in any way. But you can play him on turn 4. It's not really that bad. While 3/4 is 3 mana worth of stats, this is Arena we're talking about. In Arena, 3 mana 3/3 is okay for a 3-drop. So Murloc Knight is okay for a 4-drop, not necessarily because he's a 3/4. Those are not 4-drop worth of stats, but it's because he's a super high priority target. And if you're the first person to play a 4-drop, it doesn't actually matter how much attack it has. It's just if your opponent can kill it right away. So you kind of have to look at Murloc Knight like a 4 mana, 4 health creature that is a really high priority target. So if the stats were reversed, if it was a 4 mana 4/3, it'd be significantly worse, because played on turn 4, it'd be significantly easier to remove. So giving this card more stats is not going to happen, which means that this stat distribution is actually almost ideal. Maybe 2/5 would have been slightly better, but even then, it's a bit debatable, because 2 attack is a little bit low. 3 is kind of the sweet spot for that stage in the game. So it can defend itself. It often does put up a fight. If you're losing a game, or if you want to take a risk and try to win, you can play this on turn 4, and it will not cause you to lose the game if the card dies right after. So it is good enough to play on curve for tempo if you need it, and it can substitute for a late game card if you draw it in the late game, or if you need more of those in your Arena deck. So that's what makes it a really solid card. But even then, there's a stage past that not many people have delved into to understand, and it has to do, of course, with the Inspire effect. So there's 12 Murlocs in the game right now. This includes the Murloc Knight itself. The Inspire mechanic can, of course, summon another Murloc Knight to basically create a stampeding army of ridiculous Murlocs. Yeah, that basically introduces you guys to this concept that, you know, how much is the Inspire mechanic worth? Just a random Murloc. Someone did the stats, and if you guys want to see the full detailed report, I made a link to the Reddit thread that I used for this information in my description, and it goes over. Someone did the research. The raw stats average for an average Murloc is 2.0833 attack and 2.4166 defense or toughness. So it's basically like a 2-drop, and that's like kind of good enough. It's not exactly a 2-drop as far as Constructed is concerned, but in terms of Arena, that's basically a 2-drop. So, you know, if you have a 4-mana card, 3/4 worth of stats, if you use your 1 hero power to spawn a dude, if you add the dude stats to the Murloc Knight, he's basically like Yeti stats. He's 4/5 totaled up, and you get the 2-drop for 2 mana. So if you play Murloc Knight and use your hero power for 6 mana, that on average is an okay card. It's like actually maybe really good, because you have to consider that Arena is a tempo game because it's very difficult to draft or to run into cards that actually clear multiple creatures at the same time. If your deck has that weakness in Constructed, you can deliberately put those cards in your deck, but in Arena, you can't. You often just won't have those options. And often in Arena, it's significantly better to actually distribute the stats of a card among multiple creatures rather than stacking them into one creature. So if you had like a 6-mana 6/6, that, you know, that may not be as good in most situations as a 6-mana 4/2. So because those stats, which like playing the Murloc Knight and using your hero power, actually average out to an even level, but because it's distributed across 3 creatures, on average, that is an advantage. So it is good as a 6-drop, is basically what I'm saying. That's how good the card is. And if you really look into even the next level, Murlocs, they're really known to have their strength from their synergy and their numbers. Most Murlocs in the game actually just synergize from other Murlocs, and most of them do so without Battlecry effects. So, like Murloc Warleader, that's not exactly a 3/3 because that will buff the Murloc Knight. And most Murlocs have this type of synergy, and it makes it so the actual stats on the card of a summoned Murloc, it's not appropriate to value them as I just had. And the real stats are, just from a single Murloc with the Murloc Knight as well being in play, the buffed stats are 2.4166 and 2.5833, which is like actual Constructed level 2-drop worth of stats. So that's really quite good. That's like a 2.5 drop in terms of Arena value. But it gets even crazier than that. Because of this synergy, because with more Murlocs active, it makes the hero power even stronger when you have a Murloc Knight in play. And the second Murloc trigger, the second Inspire trigger, is considerably stronger because of this. Because let's say you get that Murloc Warleader. Well, if this is your second Murloc that you triggered from your Inspire mechanic off of your Murloc Knight, it's not only going to buff the Murloc Knight, but it's also going to buff the first Murloc that spawned from the first Inspire trigger. So he did the math, and the second trigger of the Murloc coming into play is an average of real stats after buffs 3.7 and then 3.16 toughness. That's like that's a good 3-drop. So you guys can kind of understand what's going on here. If Murloc Knight is not dealt with, the effect gains more and more value, but not only that, it acts as a late drop, but it also is good enough as an early game drop. So it is an extremely flexible card with an extremely powerful effect with a win more trigger that actually literally wins the game by itself. And it's not only that, it's the fact that this type of card works so well in the typical Paladin Arena deck, because the typical Paladin Arena deck just really fights for board control, but often lacks that late game punch to either finish the game or dominate the board completely against late game cards. And Murloc Knight helps the fact that you can use him to tempo out in the early game, but you can also just win the game with him. So it fits literally every role, and I think this card for Arena is still, at this moment, even though it's compared against the best 4-drops in the game as Paladin, it's still, in my opinion, slightly underrated. So great stuff from this little guy. I await the day where he's going to fit into regular Constructed decks once again, and that may not be too far away, but for now, have some pretty cool moments that I experienced with the Murloc Knight in Arena and in Constructed, so I want to show you guys can maybe gain some appreciation for our favorite new little Lancer. Enjoy the clips, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Confirm. Gimme, gimme. Alright. Oh, fuck yeah. Alright, this is gonna get like really out of control. Does he have Mortal Coil? Dark Bomb. Whoa. Alright. Let's just play that guy then, fuck it. Oh, it's over! That's it! We won! Alright, it's like Soulfire or Shadow Bolt, right? That's it. Oh no! Alright, that's fine. That's fine.
Reporting for duty. Who you want me killed?
Hungry Crab. Oh my god! That would have been something. Oh my god, what is that? What is that? Another Dark Iron. That's kind of funny, actually. Murgle, bro.
Reporting for duty.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's so cool. Alright, how do we play this here? We just dunk everything. Fuck these little dudes, right? We don't care about those guys. Alright, hold on. Do we want to muster? He probably has Dread Infernal, right? So we really don't want to muster. This is pretty wasteful, but remove this card from Arena, please, Blizzard. No. No. I want to keep Murloc Knight. Alright, now it's Murloc Knights. Oh, yeah! Still another one left. You know what's gonna happen? You know what's gonna happen?
Reporting for duty.
Ah, what? Fuck it, I'm keeping it.
The battle.
Alright. Value indeed. Well, he can't play Twisting Nether, so I guess he's fucked. Oh, shit! Not even close. The Murloc Knight reigns supreme, guys. Welcome to the grand tournament. Murloc Knight, best knight. Fuck this game, been playing since beta. I have 2 legendaries from packs. Oh, get wrecked.
Well met.
I don't really want to tempo abusive because I'm gonna have something on the board once I muster.
Put this apple on your head.
Get in there and fight, maggot.
Yeah, that sucks.
Weapons ready. Kill,
Reporting for justice.
Ugh. Okay. Do I want to go for the Murloc Knight? 3 attack, Divine Shield. Murloc Knight will die to Consecrate. This is the one play that doesn't die to Consecrate. I think it's pretty good.
The battle. For justice! The battle! The battle!
I'm pretty low on life, but I don't think I can lose the board anymore. He's not going to get too great of a divine favor, so it should be okay. Yeah, okay. Really? Oh my god.
Put this apple on your head.
Reporting for duty.
Yeah, I think I lost the game because of that. He's playing Ebola Pally, and I got slowed down a lot.
Red alert. Shields up. Red alert.
The light protects me.
For justice!
Shield sailing.
The battle! Get in there! Fight, maggot!
If I can deny him a decent divine favor, I'll still be okay. Yeah, there's kings.
Reporting for duty. For justice!
Shield sailing.
Maybe I can stabilize. I hate the zombie chub because if he wants the silence, he doesn't get the heal.
Reporting for duty. Reporting for duty.
The light protects me.
Reporting for duty.
If I attack that, do I die to Quartermaster? 3, 3, 10. No, I'll be at 1.
Shields up. Red alert.
I think I can recover at 1 life. It's not easy, but it can be done. I also haven't drawn shit, so like, look at that. It's like all early game. He has Consecrate.
Move quickly.
Oh, what? Oh, he's gonna Kings.
Reporting for duty.
Weapons ready. Shield sailing.
Yeah, if he has a silence, he'll be at 1. So if he has a silence and damage, I'm dead. Consecrate. It draws me a card. His last card is Divine Favor. He actually gets 2 cards.
Reporting for duty. Reporting for duty.
Whoa, that's pretty hard to deal with right now.
Reporting for duty.
How much is that? 332. 4 off lethal. But it helps me stabilize a little bit, and I can draw some cards. I should just control the board as much as possible, I think. Can I kill all 5? No, I can't kill all 5.
I should still try to control the board as much as possible. We got Dr. Boom. That's pretty good. I don't get a boom bot.
I must move quickly.
Yes, the top deck 2 damage or I win. Divine Favor is probably a win.
Well played, minions. Serve.
Yes!
Soldiers
We actually won this game.
reporting for of Kel-Ruzad.
There's no way this is not lethal, right? 9, 11.
Victory.
Yeah, it's lethal. Murloc Knight, boys! Sniperoni, boys.
Retribution.
This is fake Trump. I don't think I have real Trump on my friends list. That's pretty nice. Please don't bomb me. Don't bomb me. Okay. Well, that really sucks, actually. I can, like, start to get rid of it if I want. But what does it really accomplish? It's probably better to save the 2 damage.
Reporting for duty. Reporting for duty. Shush!
For the crusade!
Yeah, that's pretty irritating.
First kill. Silence!
Well, as long as it's not kings, we should be okay. We're losing right now, but we have a potential tempo lead with the mana crystal. We have some high quality cards, so we're doing okay, I think. Alright.
Silence! Reporting for duty.
We're doing okay.
It's getting hot in here.
Oh, wrecked.
Shall we put a kink in your plan?
Yeah, that's pretty dick, bro.
Charge! Silence!
Alright.
Your magic
Again? Really? Jeez, man. Every single time I have kings that have been silenced. That's pretty unlikely. Considering the fact that the chance you even get a silence in your draft is significantly lower.
Reporting for duty. Silence!
Give me a quest. Not on my watch.
Reporting for duty. Reporting for duty. Reporting for duty.
Nice. Damn, misplay. Alright, I'm just gonna play brutally into Consecrate, because probably the only way I win this game is by trying to take back tempo here. Again, it's like 20% less likely he has Consecrate compared to before the expansion. So yeah, I try to make it so I leave him with the Silverhand Regent, but he can't kill both my Murlocs, and he really has to kill the Murloc Knight. So if he kills the Murloc Knight, I'm gonna draw a card. Or not. Okay.
Reporting for duty. Move quickly. Reporting for duty.
That's a bit surprising.
To battle. Reporting for duty.
Oh, yes!
Demands retribution.
Fuck your retribution.
I wonder.
Coming through.
X marks the spot.
Move quickly.
Should I go for it? I draw a card.
Feel the power of the winds.
Oh no!
Reporting for duty.
What? Dude, that is fucking bogus, man. That is so fucking bogus. Like,
It's getting hot in here. Move quickly.
alright. Okay. Okay, we're doing it, we're doing it. Murloc Knight is pretty hilarious. It's true.
Red alert.
Trogzor. Trogzor.
Fight dirty.
That's nice.
Follow the rule. Reporting for duty.
Yeah, we kind of went a bit YOLO here. If I don't play the Peacekeeper, he can prevent lethal, so this is like an aggressive Peacekeeper.
Must move quickly.
Oh no, he still has it.
Action class.
Justice demands retribution.
If we go face and whiff, we actually lose. Like if he gets like a Consecrate. So if I go face, he goes bam, bam. True Silver won't cut it. Alright, I guess I'll take the risk.
Powering up. Portal online.
Reporting for duty.
He has to draw like a taunt or a board clear here. Or else it's just impossible.
Dragno, stupid.
Okay. Alright, we got him. Mr. Fake Trump. I think I won the last few, but they were all extremely close, and he always had a sick deck. And I think I just won because I was a bit luckier. He's definitely a griefer from what I've seen. Either that or it's just been wildly coincidental, but it seems like he always has the better deck. Okay. That's fake Trump.
Reporting for duty.
More training.
Reporting for duty. Reporting for duty. Depart, foul creature!
Yeah.
The battle!
That seems like a really bad idea, dude. Like, the card is so bad to play right now. It's just like shocking. He doesn't have the coin anymore, so while Consecrate is pretty good, he just concedes the game if he consecrates. Yeah, I win. GG. Got a good Murloc too. What does he have? Equality consecrate. That's the only way he's doing it. Like, enter the Colosseum or some like crazy shit like that. Yeah, shit's over.
Reporting for duty. The battle!
I am sorry.
Alright.